Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode on this new cricket fan channel, your new favorite cricket fan channel called Willow and Leather. This is Shravan here, joining you today. This is a continuation of the series that we've been doing as a preview for IPL 2024. Where we're taking one team at a time, dissecting it, analyzing it, and I'm providing my thoughts on what their lineup should look like, what their predicted finish in the table might look like, and all the good stuff here. So continuing on with the series, the team for today is Rajasthan Royals. So any Pink City fans in this channel here who are watching, a shout out to you guys. Please do go through the video and let me know what you think about my predictions for the team as well. And let's get going very quickly. So just as a quick recap, I think last couple of seasons, or the last 2 or 3 years now, I think, as a matter of fact, Rajasthan Royals has been a very consistent team, a very solid team, looks very organized with respect to their starting lineup, doesn't enjoy tinkering around too much with respect to roster changes and stuff like that. Last year was kind of an unfortunate one for them, where they just barely missed out on the playoffs. They had been playing fairly consistently well through the season, but unfortunately, just towards the business end of the tournament, they just couldn't get over the line, so missed the playoffs there. And in terms of off-season roster changes, they did make one transfer before the auction itself. They traded out Devdutt Padikkal and brought in the seamer Avesh Khan from Lucknow Super Giants. So that was a one key change for them. And they did bring in a couple of additional players during the auction as well. But again, not a team that had a whole lot of business that they had to do as a part of the auction. So just kind of goes to show how well settled that squad is overall. Let's look at their key strengths. I think they have a very strong batting unit, right from the top all the way till number 5 or 6. I think they have a fairly organized batting lineup, especially some of the domestic batters there. Well and truly capable of changing matches and changing tournaments on their own. So I think that's definitely a big boost for them. The other key strength, according to me, is their spin department. Very well covered between the veterans, Ravichandran Ashwin and Yuzvendra Chahal. Both offer variety, different types of spin, and can bowl in different parts of the game. Ravichandran Ashwin, the off spinner, can he's proven that he can bowl even during the power play as well, and in the middle overs too. Yuzvendra Chahal, someone who comes in typically after the power play, but can then really control the middle overs, and he's done exceptionally well for this franchise too. I think the spin department looks fairly sorted, and as a backup to either one of those, or specifically for Yuzvendra Chahal, they also have brought in Adam Zampa, the Aussie leg spinner, so he'll be available as a backup just in case they need some additional spin bowling options. So I think that spin department is probably the best one you can hope for. Two starting spinners, both who have represented India for a long period of time, and the fact that they're domestic players is a great boon for them, because it frees up some overseas slots that they can use for other departments. So those are their strengths. In terms of weaknesses, I think their one key glaring weakness right now looks to be the lack of quality Indian fast bowlers. Unfortunately for them, Prasidh Krishna is injured and he's been ruled out of the entire tournament, so that definitely is a big blow for them. And in terms of backups in the roster, there are a couple of them, but again, not really too many world-class Indian pacers in that lineup. So I think that is probably an area they might struggle with. But outside of that, I think it looks like a fairly well-settled and a well-balanced squad. Cool. So let's quickly talk about my predicted starting 12 for this team. Right at the top, let's start at number 1 with Yashasvi Jaiswal. What a fantastic season he's had. What a fantastic last year and a half that he's had. Making his mark in last year's IPL, really coming to the fore. absolutely dominating bowling attacks in the power play, just showing what kind of abilities and skills he possesses, which led to his call up to the Indian national side. And man, he has done wonders with the Indian national team as well, being a part of the Test team and the T20 team as well. So he's definitely someone who's gunning to be an all-format player for the country, and with the chances that he's got so far, he's done tremendously well for the team. So yeah, one for the future, and not just for the future, one for the present as well, as a matter of fact. So I think a lot will be riding on him. I think the team will be expecting a lot more from him this time around as well, for him to continue his rich vein of form, and I think he will have a big role to play for the team this year. At number 2, Josh Butler. He's had a couple of seasons where he's been on and off, not really been fully, playing to his potential. And that, I think, his lack of form was probably one of the reasons why our Rajasthan Royals didn't make the playoffs last season. But if Josh Butler gets going, I mean, we've seen the kind of seasons he's had previously, Orange Cap winner as well. So definitely someone who can rip bowling attacks apart on his own. And he just needs to discover his rhythm again heading into this IPL. But if he gets going between Jaiswal and Butler, I think that is as dangerous a opening pair as you can ever hope for. Excellent mix of right left combination as well. Both of them are very good against pace and equally offensive against spin attacks too, and that's, I think, their speciality. So I think they will definitely be a force to reckon with this season. Right at number 3, I have our captain Sanju Samson. I think a lot is discussed about Sanju Samson and his inconsistency, and that seems to be the story or the theme for him, unfortunately, season after season. Shows up at the IPL, does reasonably well, shows glimpses of what he's actually capable of achieving, but never, unfortunately, lives up to that billing. So he will definitely be hoping that this is a big season for him. In many senses, I would consider this to be a make or break season for him as well, especially for his chances to make it to the India team anytime in the near future. I think this season will have a big impact, and the way the team does and the way he himself does as a batsman in the season will probably have a big say in how the team decides to move ahead with the mega auction coming up next year. So there might be a lot of things to evaluate, whether he's the right person to take this team forward, because when you look at this team on paper, there is no reason why they wouldn't qualify for the playoffs. So I think the captain just needs to step up in terms of his own batting performances to be able to make that happen. And I think a lot will rest on his shoulders as well. Let's hope for his own sake and for all of his fans' sake that he does have a good season. It's long overdue. I think we've been waiting for Sanju Samson to make a mark on the IPL for a long time now, and he's just unfortunately not been able to deliver as consistently. For his own sake and for Rajasthan Royals' sake, let's hope that he has a good tournament this time. At number 4, another youngster, making waves on the international scene as well, Dhruv Jurel. So I've kind of put him in at number 4 because I feel like he's kind of grown a lot in terms of his not just his skills, but in terms of his experience and his personality as well over the last year. Rightfully getting a call up to the Indian national test team, the more recently concluded India-England test series. We all saw the kind of pivotal innings he was able to play for the team there. So I think he definitely has the skill set and the attributes that are needed to kind of cement his position in this team, and he's shown glimpses again of that aggression in a T20 format in the previous seasons too. But I think he will definitely benefit a lot by playing in the number 4 position. I think it gives him a little bit more time to freely express himself and to try and build longer innings too. So I think that might be a better suited position for someone like Dhruv Jurel. Again, promising young talent. Hopefully he gets enough opportunities to be able to showcase that talent. Number 5, Shimron Hetmeyer. No surprises there. Someone who's been pivotal to Rajasthan Royals ability to close games out or to kind of come in towards the end of the innings and set high targets for the opponents. He's someone who's kind of found his rhythm at Rajasthan Royals in the last couple of years. I think prior to that, he has played with a couple of other franchises, but never really settled in as such. But I think at Rajasthan Royals, I think he has a bit more clarity on what his role should be, and he's definitely stepped up his game to be that enforcer at the end and the destructor at the end to chase targets down or to set up big totals for the team. He'll be batting at number 5 according to me. At number 6, I have actually slotted in Rovman Powell. So he was one of the purchases from the auction this time around for Rajasthan Royals. I think for someone like Powell, number 6 suits him a little better. Great player, great hitting ability. We've all seen glimpses of it again, and I think over time he's shown a lot of improvement in his ability to pick and choose the right kind of areas to target and the right kind of bowlers to go after. And he's becoming more match aware, and his game sense is improving over time as well. So I think that this might be a good season for him to team up with someone like a Hetmeyer in the middle. And man, when you think about it, those two batting together, that's a very powerful destructive duo that can cause a lot of damage. And again, it's the right-left combination as well. So I think bowling units are going to be a little bit worried, facing both of them together. So that's my pick for number 6. Rovman Powell comes in. And at number 7, I have Riyan Parag. Again, a talent that has promised a lot but has failed to flatter. So I think this could be another pivotal season for him to be able to make a mark on the Indian Premier League, especially with the mega auction coming up next year. I think he will want to prove himself. So that there are suitors for him in the mega auction next year. Again, he's been doing exceptionally well domestically, but I think when it comes to the IPL, he's been found wanting a couple of times now. So hopefully he can come in and make an impact. I've slotted him in at number 7 because I feel like he's not really proven enough with his performances to merit a position further up in the order. So I think number 7 might be a more suited position for him, where he doesn't have to really think about building a longer innings. He can just come in and just go after the bowling in the last 4 or 5 overs. So I think that might be a more ideal role for him, at least at this point in his career. Cool. So number 8, this is where we start getting into the bowlers for the team. So number 8 is Ravichandran Ashwin. Exceptional, as I already mentioned, with the ball, but also adds a lot of value with the bat as well. I think over the last few seasons, we've seen a few crucial knocks that he's played, scoring quick 20s or 30s or 40s for the team, and pulling them out of a spot of bother in many occasions, but also kind of continuing some of the momentum that the top order would have laid down to really drive that score to a higher level as well. So someone like an Ashwin is probably tailor made for number 8, but depending on how they want to move things around, they could look at batting him at number 7 and just take Parag completely out of the equation and then add in another extra bowler as well, because like I did mention earlier, they were a little light on their Indian seamers, so they might want to reinforce that department and trust someone like Ashwin to bat at number 7. He's more than capable of batting at 6 or 7 for any team in the IPL, so I think that could be something they look at as well. Just depends on how thin Rajasthan Royals' patience is running with someone like Riyan Parag and whether they want to give him another string of chances or not. But at least in my starting lineup, I have him lined up at number 8. At number 9, Trent Boult, the amazing Trent Boult from New Zealand, has proven time and time again why he is such a valuable player in the IPL. Comes in, goes about his business, picking up wickets early, comes back in the end and does pretty well in the death overs too. But I think he's more of a force to be reckoned with the new ball than in the later stages of the innings. He had a relatively okay year last year. I think he will definitely want to step up. He's done pretty well in other leagues across the world since last year's IPL. So I think he will definitely want to come back and make a mark on this season's IPL too. And again, his success will probably be another very big determining factor in how well Rajasthan Royals do as a part of this year's IPL. And again, because there aren't too many other devastating pacers in the lineup, I think there's that extra added sense of responsibility on Trent Bolt's shoulders this time. Cool. At number 10, I have Sandeep Sharma, the wily and wiry Sandeep Sharma. Been around in the IPL for like several years now. Used to play with Punjab Kings previously, and I think he was at Sunrisers Hyderabad in between as well. Has gone through patches where he's shown exceptional talent, especially towards the death and even with the new ball sometimes, but has kind of been a hit or a miss over the last couple of years. Again, I think this Rajasthan Royals setup is like a perfect opportunity for him to flourish and do well. So if he's able to make a mark again, I think that adds a lot more strength to the Rajasthan Royals bowling. So I've slotted him in at number 10. At number 11, so this is where I think they'll want to field another Indian pacer. So they have a couple of options here, but my pick is going to be Kuldeep Sen to start with. Pretty solid bowler. I think he's given some crucial performances, scattered across his entire career, but I think he can offer a lot more, and I think they'll probably want to show some faith in him to give him a decent run of chances to be able to prove his worth. So I think he might fit in at number 11. The other option is obviously the bowler that they traded in this time, which is Avesh Khan. Again, Avesh is a pretty solid bowler as well, has played for India too, so he definitely has that working in his favor. But again, I just feel like he has not delivered what he promised, or kind of over promised and under delivered over the last couple of years with Lucknow Super Giants. So I feel like Kuldeep Sen probably deserves a run at the start of the tournament at least, to see how he goes, and then they can always fall back to someone like Avesh Khan later on if things aren't working out for them. Right, and at number 12, our man Yuzi Chahal. Time and time again, I still keep questioning why RCB let Yuzvendra Chahal go, but it is what it is. It's all in the past now. So he's found a new home at Rajasthan Royals, and he's made it his own. Absolutely gun performer throughout his IPL career, but even at Rajasthan Royals, he's found his rhythm again. Is the window for him to make it back into the Indian team closed? Time will tell, but if there is one tournament where he can make a mark and try and show the selectors that he still got it to be playing for the Indian team, the IPL is it. So he needs to have another big IPL to be able to try and force his way back into the Indian team. It's a hard challenge right now, given some of the other spinners we have in our Indian squad currently, or at least in the mix-up for the Indian squad. So he will have to bowl out of his skin and really perform exceptionally well to be able to justify being pulled back into the Indian team. But having said that, if there's anyone who can weave that kind of magic, it is Yuzvendra Chahal. So do keep an eye on him again this year as well. Cool. So that kind of sums up the roster of 12 players for Rajasthan Royals. Finally, my predictions for them for this season. Like I said, I think they've been very consistent over the last couple of years. I think it's one of those teams where you know exactly what you're going to get from them. Very solid, consistent performances. It's not a team that goes on, really wild momentum swings. They don't get into a rut of losing very regularly, nor do they just keep winning every single game. I think they're fairly consistent. There are days when they'll lose a couple of games, but then there are days when they will perform to their ability and pull out some games as well. So I think overall, if anything, I feel like they have probably strengthened their batting a little bit with bringing in someone like a Roman Powell and folks like Jaiswal stepping up and Dhruv Jurel stepping up. I think that'll be a big factor. But I think the two main batters still in that team are Josh Butler and Sanju Samson. If those two can fire, along with the red hot form of Jaiswal and someone like Dhruv Jurel coming in, with guys like Hetmeyer and Powell to follow, I think that batting order is exceptionally good. And they have the spinners to back it up, and they have a decent amount of pace bowling as well. Trent Bolt to lead the attack, and then the Indian pacers to follow. So I think they can definitely make this magic work. I would definitely say, there is no reason why they should not finish in the top 4. In fact, if they play consistently well, there is no reason why they shouldn't finish in the top 2 either. So that is my forecast for the team. I do expect a top 4 finish from them. Again, they missed out last year, but I'm sure they will want to make amends this time and finish in the top 4 and go all the way this time. Been a long time since Rajasthan Royals last won the trophy. It's been 15 years. After the first season, they haven't had a chance to really get their hands on the trophy yet. So they will definitely be wanting to correct that. And I think they have the roster in place to do it. Just depends on how many people show up in good form and how many people are able to kind of find form as the tournament progresses. But definitely one of the teams to watch out for. So beware other teams. I think the guys in pink are going to be in red hot form this time around. Cool. So that was my summary and a preview for Rajasthan Royals. Thank you once again for joining in. This is Shravan as a part of Willow and Leather. Please do like, share and subscribe to this channel. Please help this channel grow. I've been putting in a lot of effort into these videos, doing a lot of in-depth analysis, and I will continue to provide a lot of exciting content for this channel in the days and weeks to come. So please do share this channel with your friends and families. And show all the love, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.